These Skittles could become illegal in the state of California.
Soon, California may no longer be selling the Taste of the Rainbow.
Popular candies and foods, including Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, and Pez, potentially banned.
We love banning stuff in California, and the latest on our do not put it in your mouth list could be hot tamales, candy, Sour Patch Kids, and Campbell's soup.
What? And it isn't just Skittles, it's Nerds, cake icing, even protein shakes, instant rice, boxed mixes. Ingredients they allow here in the US, but not in Europe. There is a proposed bill that wants to stop the sale of any food product in California that contains red dye number 3, titanium dioxide, potassium bromate, brominated vegetable oil, or propylparaben. I mean, how do you even pronounce some of these things? This proposed ban states that these chemicals are dangerous. So why are Americans allowed to eat them? I'm going inside a California store to see what else has these chemicals. I'm gonna assess if a ban like this can actually go through. Remember when Mike Bloomberg tried to ban large sodas and it totally failed? Why does Europe ban so many chemicals that we eat every day here in the US? And then I want to show you this. Why are Pepsi and Coke, two big rivals, joining together to supposedly educate us and help us reduce our sugar intake? Yes, these companies that are regularly selling us sugar in a can want us to now buy less sugar? I need to figure out if this is just a PR stunt. Let's start with the proposed ban on Skittles. And anything that contains red dye number 3, titanium dioxide, potassium bromate, brominated vegetable oil, or propylparaben. These brightly colored candies and foods contain a chemical called titanium dioxide. Yep, there it is, titanium dioxide. It's a common food additive that is used to give foods a bright white color. I guess it's this. Focus. But titanium dioxide can be harmful to human health. A recent study by the Environmental Working Group found that titanium dioxide nanoparticles can cause DNA damage, disrupt the immune system, and lead to inflammation in the body. These are all serious health concerns. But hold up, I mean, we don't need a scientist to tell us that this stuff is not good for us. But how bad is it for us, and should the government be banning it? It's pretty hard to ban anything when it comes to what food companies are allowed to feed us. In New York, Mike Bloomberg proposed a ban against really large sodas and it failed. And if you actually read up on the proposed Skittle ban, you realize that this isn't actually gonna happen. This isn't gonna take effect. In fact, even the lawmaker who proposed this admits there's kind of like a 0% chance that this will actually happen. But he is hoping that just by proposing this, it will make food companies rethink what they're putting in our food, and maybe even change some of these chemicals and ingredients, specifically those 5 that I've mentioned. So if you go to Europe, you will find that they have Skittles, but the ingredients are different. After the proposed ban, a bunch of food groups sent this message, basically saying, listen, the stuff in our candy is safe, but it's one of those things where it's like, is it really safe? And what do you mean by safe? I mean, where do you draw the line of what is safe? Food lobbyists spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to convince lawmakers whatever's gonna serve them. So maybe to get some clarity on what we should and shouldn't be putting in our bodies, let's go to some other countries. Because red dye number 3 has been linked with behavior problems and hyperactivity in children. So why are the food ingredients in the US so much worse for us than they are in Europe? Well, there are a few reasons for this. First, the US has a different regulatory system for food additives than Europe. In the US, food additives are generally considered safe until proven otherwise. This means that companies can use almost any additives they want, and it's only up to the government to prove that they are harmful before they can get banned. But on the other hand, in Europe, additives are generally considered unsafe until proven otherwise. This means that companies have to prove that an additive is safe before it can be used in foods. Number 2, the US and Europe have different priorities when it comes to public health. In Europe, there's a strong emphasis on the precautionary principle. The precautionary principle is where the government takes action to prevent harm before it occurs. But in the US, there is a strong emphasis on personal choice and individual responsibility. So this means that the government is less likely to take action that might prevent harm, and more likely to leave you, the individual, the one to choose. And number 3, profits. We have a system where profits come before people. So if we can make a company that gets people addicted and generates billions of dollars, let's do it. And lobbying efforts are massive in the US. Lobbyist money is what gets you elected. So as an elected official, if you want to get elected, you need money, and money is often coming from lobbyists. But what do we do to make sure we're not getting poisoned at the grocery store? First, we can support efforts to strengthen food safety regulations in the US. This means pushing for stronger safety standards for food additives and chemicals, and advocating for greater priority on that precautionary principle that's used in Europe. Second, we can educate ourselves about the foods we eat and the ingredients they contain. That means actually reading these food labels and knowing what they mean, which I admit can be hard, just let alone to pronounce most of them. But it also means being aware of the potential risks associated with certain foods. For instance, like the risk of titanium dioxide. Okay, music change, 3, 2, 1. One thing I have noticed lately is there has been a much stronger emphasis on added sugar in the drinks that we consume. And companies are scared, and instead of fighting the movement, they're trying to join the movement. American Beverage Association started balanceus.org, and they're buying up ads playing like this.
America's beverage companies are working together
to deliver more great tasting options
with less sugar or no sugar at all.
In fact, today, nearly 60% of beverages sold contain zero sugar.
More choices,
Less sugar.
balanceus.org.
The idea here is to try and get ahead of the story. See, people are drinking less sodas, but these companies need to make sure that profits continue to grow. The American Beverage Association spends millions of dollars on lobbying and things like taxation, labeling, and regulation of beverages. And this is exactly what happens. This is how the US food industry works. So now, instead of a mom worrying about the sugar in her kid's beverage, she can rest assured that the American Beverage Association has already calmed her anxieties and has her back and helping her to choose drinks with less sugar. But let me know in the comments, do you think that the US food industry should be more regulated? Should they be banning chemicals the same way they ban many of them in Europe? Should this remain on the shelves, or at the very least have to change some of the ingredients?